Hi friends, Amy Powell here, Executive Director of Outreach, and this week we are bringing you a gingerbread Christmas house for the weekly take and make craft. We of course want to thank our sponsors for helping us to bring these into your home, and we hope that when you if you have your products finished, that you will certainly share your pictures on Facebook, as long as they're not a gift for someone, and tag Outreach, and help us to support our sponsors by dropping a quick thank you. This holiday season, the crafts are sponsored by Thrivent Financial, and because of their generosity, we've been able to make this a wonderful take and make craft season. So what I have done is I have pre-painted the parts for the gingerbread house, so that way the paint could dry. And you'll see that on each of the sections, they have little openings, little slits, and then little bottom pieces here. And so eventually what's going to happen is these are going to go inside of the pieces. They're all going to kind of interlock together. So when you are painting, you're going to pay special attention that you don't get paint on the inside of these openings, and that you don't put a heavy coat of paint on these little notches on the bottom, because they really are a close fit. And so if you get too much paint on them, or if you get paint inside these grooves, then it's going to make it kind of difficult to put the pieces together. So in your kit, you should have everything that you need, with the exception of a paintbrush and some glue. And if you don't have any paintbrushes at home, you can use Q-tips, just standard household Q-tips. So I'm going to finish painting this last piece so you can see what I do to kind of protect the edges and the little middle pieces there. So I've got some paper down here because I want to protect my table. So I'm just gonna load up my Q-tip here with some paint. And you see that I've already started this one. So I'm just gonna take my Q-tip and I'm just gonna smear it all over. You have to reload frequently when you're using the Q-tips, but I just kind of go in circles when I'm getting close to the edges with these scalloped pieces. And then when I'm working around these pieces right here, I'm going to go nice and slow so that way I can get right up next to them without getting a bunch of paint globbed on the inside of them. Because like I said, we don't want to end up with paint filling those sections, because then it's going to make it really, really difficult for you to snap them together. So I'm going to load up my Q-tip here again. I'm just going to keep painting. And I did not paint the base. This is our base right here. The kit comes in a number of different pieces here, and I did not choose to paint the base because most of it is actually going to be on the inside of the gingerbread house. Now, if you'd like to use, your extra brown paint and paint the base too, you certainly can do that. I would make sure that you paint the outside of the gingerbread house first. So first I'm using my brown paint, and that's what I'm using to paint the outside of the gingerbread house. And then I'll use the little cup of white to make the scallops and to kind of embellish along the roof lines. I'm going to finish getting this all painted up real quick. Again, being very careful around the edges of those little notches, so that way we can keep those intact without filling them with paint, because we do not want to fill them with paint. The nice thing about putting the paint on with a Q-tip is that it kind of works like a stain. So stain sometimes is a little different than a paint because it actually, still shows the grain of the wood. So, when you're using a paintbrush, it goes on a little bit thicker. And this is acrylic paint, so if you're worried about your clothes or your table, your workspace that you're working on, make sure that you're wearing an apron and that you are using a protective layer on the bottom, so that way you're not getting paint on your table. And you only need to do one side and of each of these wooden pieces, because the other sides are all going to be on the inside. So you only need to do the outside. Now, if you have some other acrylic paints at home and you want to embellish your gingerbread house with paint before you put it together, you're certainly welcome to do that as well. We wanted to give you the supplies that were kind of uniform and give everybody the opportunity to have a really cute gingerbread house, and make it, without giving too many options for things that people might not use. So we stuck with the two basics of the brown for the gingerbread house and the white for, adding some snow and maybe adding some embellishments along your rooftop. So I'm going to set this last roof piece aside since it's still drying. And I've got some Elmer's glue here. So you can use the Elmer's glue to help keep the pieces together once you start assembling them into your base. And you see the base has, the long side has 2 notch holes and each of the shorts has 1 notch hole. So to use the, this is going to take a little bit of, maybe a couple adult hands to help with this. So I'm just going to put a little dab of glue here. I'm going to put it on the inside. So I'm going to use one of the side walls here. And the side walls are the ones with the windows. And so I'm going to put a little bit of Elmer's glue, maybe, on the inside of this side wall here. And that'll just help it stay in place once everything is put together. I'm just going to do all the little notches on the house pieces right now. So I've got the 2 side walls. You see one has the little crisscross in the window pane and one is open. And then these are the other 2, the 2 long walls. And so I'm going to just put some, I'm just putting the glue on the inside, the unpainted side, on these little notches right here. You can see I put some glue there, just a light coating. And then the ones with the scalloped edges, those are the roof pieces. And like I said, these pieces fit, they are very tight-fitting pieces. So you may need a couple times of kind of jiggling things around to get everything to fit together. So now I'm just doing all the extra little notches on these the side panes as well. Okay, so now I've got the glue on all my parts and pieces. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put the walls together first, and then once I have the walls together, then I will slide it into the base. So I'm just going to start putting the walls together, and this may take a couple of extra hands. So you put the side walls on, just sliding them into the notches into the little openings. And when you're putting it together, just be careful. Oh, I'm going to do that one upside down. Just be careful that you are not pushing too hard, that you're kind of doing it gently, because this is just balsa wood and we don't want it to crack or the sides to split apart. Okay, so now I have my 4 walls together, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put it upside down. It'll kind of stand on the peaks there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of go like this, and I'm going to line up the notches of the base to get it to kind of go into each of the little openings. And then I'm just going to carefully work it in place. Again, this is balsa wood, so you need to treat it with a little bit of care. Okay, so I've pushed all of the side walls together, and I have the bottom in place. The glue is all on the inside. So you just want to make sure that all the walls are pushed together. If you need to put a little more glue in place on the inside, once you've got things in place, you can. Just take your Elmer's glue. If if you need to just push a little bit on the inside of that to make sure everything holds in place. I want to make sure that it's nice and sturdy. I'm just putting a little bit of extra Elmer's glue at all of the little seams across the bottom and across the sides and in the little corners here. Okay, then I'm going to take my roof pieces. Now my one roof piece that I just finished, you can see it's kind of shiny, so it's not dry all the way. So I'm just going to be real careful. I'm going to put some glue. So now I'm not going to be able to get anything else on the inside. So if you wanted to use this opportunity to, you know, maybe if you've got some little figurines and you want to glue them in the bottom there, you could do that. So that way when you look in the windows, there's things inside. When you look in the door, if you don't want to, that's fine too, though. You've got an adorable little gingerbread house here. So, but this is the last step before you put anything on, you know, on the inside. So I'm going to put another coat of glue here. And I'm just going to put some glue on these notches on the inside too. So on these two little points that are sticking up right here on each end, I'm just going to put some glue on the inside of them. So that way as I set the roof in place, it'll have some glue to help hold it. And the glue is basically just going to make it sturdy. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put my roof together. So the roof has these two little notches, and then this other section has those two little holes. So I'm just going to put the two roof pieces together. And like I said, mine is still wet, so I'm going to get some glue on my fingers here. Or I'm going to get some paint on my fingers. So I'm just going to push these little guys together like so. And you hear that there's a little bit of crunching, so I just was careful as I was pushing it, so that way the crunching didn't result in anything cracking. So now that I've got my two roof pieces together, I'm going to line them up with the notches on the outside, carefully again, because you want to make sure that, you know, things aren't getting cracked as you're trying to push them into place. It does take a little bit of patience as you're putting this together. All right, getting there. Kind of got to work it in sections. Just put it on, try and shimmy it down, put it on, try and shimmy it down. Kind of hard to do with wet paint. So you're really going to want to give it a good time to dry. Give it a good coat of paint and let it dry before you start putting it together, because otherwise you're going to end up with paint all over your fingers. All right. Off of there. After you're done painting too, don't throw away your brown because you may want to add a little touch up on the outside once you've got all the pieces in place too. So don't throw away your brown paint that you've got. Okay, so now I have all the pieces in place. And my Elmer's glue will dry, and if I want to, I can take my little brush here, and I can go through and I can, you know, touch up some of these things. Like on the roof, if I decide I want it all to be brown, I can just go along and make that brown. If you want to leave it white or balsa colored, you can leave it white too. That's the nice thing about these projects, is that each one can be unique and no two need to be exactly alike. If you want to touch up these little notches here on the roof, you can certainly do that as well. You'll see on the, the insides, there's some spots. If you want to touch those up, you can. So now I've got my white paint here. And I've also got some felt balls and some pipe cleaners. So I've got the different colored balls here, and those can serve as like little ornaments. And then I've got pipe cleaners, so I can use the pipe cleaners to line the roof. I can make little flowers out of them. I can make little tiny candy canes, and you're going to want to use your Elmer's glue to hold all of those things in place. So I'm going to add some scallops onto my roof because I like scallops, and you see the edges of your roof are kind of scalloped. So I'm going to add the scallops onto this side because this is the side that's dry already. So I've just loaded my Q-tip with some white. And I'm just going to start, and I'm just going to add some scallops like it would look like there was snow that was piled on the top of the roof. Scallops are kind of like, the wings of birds as you are, learning to draw a seagull. And if you want to draw them out first with a pencil, so that way you have, consistency, you can. So there's my scallops. I also might decide that I want to add a little snowdrift on the front of the house. Well, I'm going to say this is the front of the house. So I'm going to add a little snowdrift here. I'm going to just add some white, kind of make it look like the snow has drifted up the side of the house there. It's a windy day, blustery outside, and so I'm going to add some little snowdrifts to make it look like the snow is piled up on the side of the house like that. And then on my side that I did my scallops, I'm going to put a couple dabs of glue, and I'm going to make some ornaments here. So I'm just going to put a couple dabs of glue in each of the scallops. I'm going to put my little colorful balls here. Whatever order you want. I'm going to use all the same size for up here. And there's my little balls to make it. Oh goodness! So you gotta wait before you move it, because otherwise they'll just hop right off there. I might not have put enough glue on. I did put just a little dab. So, oh my goodness, all the little ornaments are falling off. So you need to make sure that you use enough glue. We're gonna give you a little more glue too to keep them in place. If you have a problem with them all sliding off, you could do this in segments and kind of set this on its side like this. Prop it up so that way, might need to prop it up a little bit, put something else underneath it. So, if you're working on it and you want to make sure that the little bulbs don't slide off, I used my bottle of Elmer's glue here and I kind of propped it up. I don't have a pair of scissors here, but I could take this little red and white pipe cleaner and make it into a little candy cane. And then I can snip it off and I can glue that along the bottom as well. You got a nice long pipe cleaner here, so you could do lots of candy canes. You could also use these to trim the edges. So if you wanted to make it look like there were lights, you could glue them along the edges here of your gingerbread house. The pipe cleaners are pliable, and you should be able to cut them with a pair of household scissors. And then when you're done with your piece, make sure that you use a Sharpie or a magic marker and write your name and the year that you made it. And hopefully you've had a fun time making your craft, and you'll have something that you can either keep for yourself for years to come, or you can give away as a Christmas gift this year. We'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us. All right, so I added some final embellishments to my gingerbread house, and I thought I'd give you a video here to see what the final product looked like. So what I learned is that in order to get these cute little gumdrops to stay on the top is that you kind of have to put it on its side and rest something underneath the roof, so that way the roof is parallel to your table. And when you do that, then the glue will dry and the gumdrops will stay in place. So here's one side of my gingerbread house. I made some snow drifts to look like it had drifted up against the side of the house, and I used my extra white and I painted the entire surface around the outside of the gingerbread house here white, so that way it looked like there was snow on the ground. This is one of the sides of my gingerbread house, so I used my pipe cleaners and I lined the roof and I lined the floor, and I put some cute little candy canes there with some gumdrops above the door, or excuse me, above the window. And I did the same thing on this side of the roof where I added some gumdrops and some scallops, added some more snowdrifts on the bottom. And then here on the front of the house, we've got, again, some pipe cleaners to line the roof and to line the floor, and some cute little candy canes there and some gumdrops above the door. So there is my finished product. And this is going to take a little bit of time and patience as the glue sets up. So make sure that you give yourself plenty of time to put the glue in place, let the gumdrops dry, let the pipe cleaners dry in place before you move it and go on to the next side. Thanks again for joining us.